It's pretty well known that the Sonic Frontiers we have now is not the same game we had at launch. After 3 major updates that brought us new challenges, moves, characters, and even stories, the game is in a much more complete and fun state now than it ever was in 2022. But while I've seen endless discussion about how these updates affect the open zone, or how well Final Horizon serves as the game's final challenge, one aspect that's often neglected in these discussions is cyberspace. It's weird too. These stages are a pretty substantial part of the game, but I guess they're seen as secondary when discussing the whole of Frontiers. However, I'm here to argue that cyberspace has seen one of the most drastic jumps in quality since Frontiers' release, and today I'm gonna tell you how. Hey there, you're watching Philo's Game Station, and this is the evolution of Sonic Frontiers Cyberspace. Alright, so first we need to talk about how Cyberspace was at launch, back in November of 2022, and to be honest, it was pretty bad. Now, I personally think it was fun regardless, but yeah, its flaws were pretty glaring. Cyberspace was Sonic Frontiers' answer to the question, what happens to the boost formula? By that point, the boost had been Sonic's main gameplay style for 14 years since Unleashed, and neither the fans nor Sonic Team were quite ready to give it up, though let's be honest, it was more so Sonic Team. After Forces, the boost had lost quite a bit of popularity, but not enough to completely abandon it. Unleashed and Generations boost stages were still some of the most fun gameplay in the series, so letting go of that would have been a pretty risky move on Sonic Team's part. So they went with a different approach. Innovate and recreate. Try something new with the open zone, but keep the past intact with many stages inside of them that followed the boost formula. Problem is, they took the recreate part a bit too literally. Problem 1. Cyberspace reuses old level design way too often. Out of 30 Cyberspace stages in the game, 22 of them are recreations of older stages, pulled from Adventure 2, Unleashed, and Generations. Some even recreate the same stage, just separating the 2D and 3D sections. Now, I can understand bringing back levels from SA2. It's not good, but I get it. These were 21-year-old stages that could be interesting to play with the boost. Unleashed and Generations, though, have no real reason to be remade other than that Sonic Team didn't have time to make new stages. But hey, it's fine if they still play well, right? Problem 2. The controls are just awful for a first playthrough. Sonic's controls just don't work with this level design. In the same game with some of the smoothest controls Sonic's ever had, they somehow managed to make him the stiffest he's ever been in Cyberspace. And even better, they put him in stages that originally had a Sonic that could drift. How do you even do that? I just don't get how they got the controls so right for the open zone and then fumbled the bag this much here. Not helping the comparison with their older iterations is the fact that Sonic is unbearably slow. You'll often see people spamming the boost button in some vain hope that'll make them go faster, but it's just the effect that makes it feel that way. Combine that with the fact that homing attacking an enemy causes the game to freeze for impact, and you start seeing why this was so negatively received. But I will defend the game on this point. Whether intentionally or not, this makes Cyberspace a very unique experience, where you try to avoid homing attack chains for a faster time, and when you really get used to the controls, Cyberspace is actually really fun. More fun than any of these games? Hell no. Well, maybe, but the slower speed gives the air boost so much more time to shine. It's so much fun to use. And then of course, we have the homing dash. While it did start out as a glitch, the game counts it as an actual mechanic now, so taking it into consideration is fair game in my eyes. The homing dash absolutely breaks these levels, and when you practice it enough, it becomes second nature, almost as if it was an intended mechanic. Now there's the extra aspect of skipping automation with the homing dash, making these levels stand out more compared to the original counterpart. You'll only find out how fun these can be when bothering to replay the stages though. On a casual first playthrough, this sucks. And lastly, problem 3. Reused themes. While it would have been unrealistic to expect new themes given the scale of Cyberspace, they definitely shouldn't have reused Green Hill and Chemical Plant, which had both already been reused in Generations, Mania, and Forces. Sky Sanctuary is less egregious seeing as it only been reused in Generations before, but then they should have used more levels that hadn't made an appearance since then. The one new theme we do get, other than looking very similar to City Escape, is only used 6 times in the game, one of them being for City Escape funnily enough. people weren't already sour on these stages, this sealed the deal. All of Cyberspace's issues compounded to make it just not fun in people's eyes. And then Update 1 came, with 2 new challenge modes. Battle Rush to refight the bosses, and the Cyberspace challenge as a time attack for those stages. If you managed to beat the Cyberspace challenge with all S ranks though, you'd unlock the power boost in Cyberspace. And I can't tell you how much this change alone improves the play experience for me. The power boost is significantly faster than the normal one. I remember seeing that it was like 33% faster, but I couldn't find that number again. What matters is that Sonic feels much closer to Unleashed and Generations, making the levels taken directly from there feel closer to how they originally felt, aka a massive improvement. Along with that though, came Extreme Mode. Remember the S rank for 1-2? Yeah, remember how long that took you to get? Now imagine that, but with every stage. It's a great excuse to replay the Cyberspace levels again in Extreme Mode. Too bad you already need to replay all of them to unlock it. A minor problem I have is that you can't use these times in Arcade Mode. If you want to play with these times, you need to launch your Extreme save and find the portal you're looking for. Or you could just mod the game, it's your choice really. Overall, Update 1 was great for Cyberspace, but nothing could prepare us for the storm that was about to ensue in Update 2. It's everything I ever wanted. Update 2 would bring us the Spin Dash, by far Sonic's fastest move, and the one that carries the most momentum. Who knew hedgehogs could fly? If the power boost made the stages faster, then the Spin Dash absolutely obliterates them. Special mention has to go to the 2D stages now, because while the power boost was really noticeable in 3D, its effect is really undermined in 2D. The Spin Dash fixes that problem and allows you to zoom through them as well. Everything was improved by the addition of the Spin Dash, but this is where we run into a problem. A pet peeve of mine regarding how Cyberspace changed is that you can't play with the enhancements right away. You have to beat the game first to unlock the Cyberspace challenge for the power boost, as well as at least having the final island unlocked for the Spin Dash, meaning first time players now will have to go through Cyberspace exactly as it was on release, slow Sonic and all. Now I get that the developers wanted new players to play the game as originally intended, to have the sense of satisfaction unlocking the new moves. It's unfortunate that after all these years, new players will still have to experience it at its worst and earn its best iteration, when by the time they can even do that, they've probably already lost interest in Frontiers and especially Cyberspace. Good thing Update 3 exists. While Update 3 doesn't make it any easier to unlock the power boost or Spin Dash, what it does bring is even better. Brand new Cyberspace stages built around them. Entering the Final Horizon portal automatically unlocks the Spin Dash or Final Horizon files, so the developers had free reign to go all out with the new Cyberspace stages, and yeah, they did. These stages are remixes of the ones from the original game, which also means that most of them are remixes of stages from previous games. But they do a lot to stay different. Since they're built with the Spin Dash in mind, these stages are wide open. You're expected to fly through them, and as a result, they're long and they have so many different pathways, since there's no telling where you might fly to, and best of all, they're just weird. Like, these are simultaneously some of the best stages in the game, but they're also really unpolished. Like, no attempt was made to hide the pop in here, for instance. It's a feature as far as they're concerned. There's a level with a bomb above Sonic's head that explodes if the timer runs out, which naturally means I just did this. You deserve it, you freak. There's a level with flying cars and moon gravity, another where Sonic is the car. They go all out with the creativity in these levels, it's great. Just don't go for the bonus objectives where you collect stuff, or by the time you're done, you'll never want to see a hedgehog again. The previous updates editions were already great, but Update 3 stages kind of gave them a purpose for most players. Not to mention that these stages also have a way higher focus on spectacle, which has been a core part of Boost Sonic in 3D ever since its inception, leading them to feel like they're a lot more competently made than the originals regardless of the blocky environments. They're also fully 3D, which lends itself wonderfully to the Spin Dash based level design. They really took the feedback they got from the main game and used the new elements added to it to make the best Cyberspace levels in the entire game. And that's the thing with Cyberspace right now. It's really fun. It isn't the slow, sluggish side mode of the original game anymore. It's fast, it's frantic, it's fun. But this was unfortunately a case where first impressions mattered above all else. It was clunky on release, it's still clunky for new players today, so it simply isn't worth investing the effort needed to actually have fun with it, especially not when you have the original games to play these stages at a far higher quality than Cyberspace can ever hope to achieve. But here's the thing, Cyberspace is a whole different beast now. We don't play these stages like you used to in the originals. No, you're homing dashing, spin dashing, skipping automation. This isn't Boost Sonic anymore, it's Cyberspace Sonic. And Cyberspace Sonic is now better than ever. But before I go, I don't usually do this, but hey, if you made it this far, you probably like the video, right? So I just want to say, the last few videos on the channel haven't been Sonic related, and I'm assuming as a result, didn't really do well. So please, if you have the time, go check one of them out. I'm really proud of them. That being said, have a great rest of your day, and goodbye.